Hey, hey.
Hey, Coach. We'll get started with questions from Kent. Kent, go ahead.
Yeah, I was curious, when you do have back-to-back games against the same team, you've talked about it being like a playoff series. I'm wondering how much of a new kind of game plan you guys come up with, or do you just look at the film of what you've seen and make adjustments? Do you try to anticipate what the other team's going to do, or do you just focus on yourself?
Well, I think both teams largely have an identity of how they play. So you're not going to deviate too far from the identity. But I think there are, adjustments here and there. Wherever a team had success, you can be darn sure it's going to be hard for that same thing to happen the next game. Or at least it would be surprising if the same thing could happen the next game. So wherever Dallas had success, you hope that Minnesota's better, and then vice versa. There are some things that you learn personnel wise, maybe in the actions by having gone through 40 minutes of defending something that give you some, ideas what could be better, more effective. And I think it's what both teams are doing. Where you had success, you try to duplicate it, but you also kind of know you can't count on it. And that's what we talked about with our team. We have to be able to count on our staples. And obviously for us, taking care of the ball is something that we got to keep talking about, because when we did that and got shots on goal, we were largely pretty hard to play against. When we did not, we fueled their offense. That's when they have a chance to, especially at home, go on bigger runs, and the crowd really gets into it and their energy goes way up.
I wanted to ask you about Dantas.
What'd you say? I'm sorry, Ken.
Oh, I was just going to ask a quick question about Dantas. I thought that she kind of showed some glimmers last night. I mean, she was pretty instrumental in the start of the fourth quarter for you. I think she had 5 of those 10 points. You kind of see her getting more comfortable with this group, and how important would it be for her to kind of return to the form that she showed last year?
Yeah, I mean, it would come at a really good time. We have a couple players that are, numbers wise performing, below not even their average. And so just getting back to average would be great, let alone trying to match, how good Demiris was last year. But I think, just like a little bit that you saw with Kayla, I think, Demiris has been working through it. And I think I mentioned to this before, that Demiris has practiced really well when we've had practices. It's just, it hasn't happened as much for Demiris in games, but she had some good moments for sure against Dallas, and we need her, and she's going to keep being given opportunities. And when you have a big like Demiris that can help you space the floor and shoot the three, it's really valuable. And so we just want the same mindset. I know it doesn't feel very good to miss shots or to turn the ball over, but we just got to keep working through it. We're going to keep putting her in those situations, and then hopefully we can start making more plays.
Cindy, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Thank you for your time. Congratulations on your 250th win as a head coach.
Thanks, Cindy.
With the Lynx. What do you remember about your first win, and what does 250 mean to you?
I don't know who the first win was. I don't remember. I don't remember anything about the first win. I'm sure I remember being excited at the time, but not. I don't remember. And what was the second part?
What does 250 mean to you? Anything?
How long has it taken? So I've been coaching for a while. That's one thing it means. When it's said, you kind of feel it, like you go, holy shit, like that's a lot of games. Not just wins, because if there's 250 wins, you got, how many losses. That's a lot of games. And Mike Tebow getting 350 on the same night I was messaging with him, and I'm like, good Lord, and he's like, how hard this is, and that's why you're the best. I mean, it's just it's hard. That's what comes to mind, is how hard this is. Obviously really rewarding, and hearing from someone like Lindsay Whalen, and I told Way she got me 213 of them. So probably that's what comes to mind. Is I've been really, really fortunate to be surrounded by so many good players that are willing to be coached and let me be me, and I just feel appreciative. That's for darn sure, and I definitely feel a lot older.
I have a follow-up about Sil, if that's okay. So for her career over 14 seasons, she's averaged 1.2 steals a game, and now she's just on a tear. She looks like has better vision or anticipation. What do you attribute that to?
I don't know. I just know that when we're in training camp and Scylla's really locked in to the schemes, I get really excited because I know it's a good sign. If I'm in practice and I see Scylla late or just not really feeling comfortable, then I know it's really going to hurt our defense. And so training camp, we got the really good Syl. I do think that what we've learned, I've been with Syl since 2015, and sometimes I screw it up, and even though I have the information, I don't believe it sometimes. But keeping the schemes really simple is when Syl's at her very, very best, and we've tried to do that. I get excited with Syl because she can do so many things, and then but then the thinking comes in if I start to do too many things. So I think we've gotten Syl in her wheelhouse. And I think that's why you're seeing her perform so well dead end.
Go ahead.
Corey,
Hi, Coach. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Lacey Clarendon just really impressed us last night in her leadership skills. Could you touch on that just a little bit? The way she was yelling on defense, and we could hear her even though we were pretty far away, and very vocal out there. And she was very, very impressive. Can you talk about her just a second?
Yeah, Leja, we said it from the very first time that they joined our team that there was, we understood where we were. We knew it was challenging, prior to Leja's arrival. We were willing to work through the point guard spot, which was probably our weakest position. But then we had the opportunity to add Leja to the group, and immediately, and I know this about Lay, their leadership is like, the greatest quality to Leja's game. And then not far behind is Leja's physical toughness. And so with the leadership comes the communication. The physical toughness is just something that they've always had. And I think for the game last night, what I really enjoyed as we broke down some film with the team, just showed them, you mentioned communication on defense. That's where we talk about it the most. But communication on offense, especially where our team has been over the last 3 games and just throwing the ball all over the place, getting more connected. Leja was at the point of that, no pun intended. But they were the ones that was when she would make a pass, pointing to where the next pass should go. Make a recognition. I know this is what the play is that Cheryl might have, asked us to run, or way that the play is, drawn up. But if it's not there, then don't make the pass and do simple things. And I thought Leja, hey, if somebody was denied and Fee was getting a lot of attention and the paint was open, go take the paint. And, Leja really excels in that area. And so that's what I thought you saw from Leja's game last night, that, and I also thought that they played with really good pace. And that's, again, from the first game, we saw that. I think it was Atlanta, I think was their first game, getting into the paint when the defense is trying to take things away and try to get aggressive and deny, get to the paint. And so Leja has excelled at that. And I thought it was really helpful for us, that first game that we had with them, and then also last night.
We'll go last question to Kent. Kent, go ahead.
I wanted to ask about Kayla. In her meeting with the press last night, she talked about how you went up to her before the game and said, just relax, don't get so tense, just play. And she said that really helped. But, from having listened to her over the last few weeks, it seems like doing well for her teammates is very important to her, and she puts a lot on herself. Can she sometimes, like she said, get in her own head and be her own worst enemy? And is she at her best when she basically doesn't think about stuff and just plays?
I think every player is at their best when they don't think. And I think that was something that was apparent. We know we were coming off a bad loss, so to speak. Not that Chicago's a bad team. It's not that, just how we played the game. Chicago's a good team. And if you play bad, you're going to get run out of the gym like we did. It was more, I sense from the team, they're pleasers. They don't want me upset with them. They don't want to let down their teammates. And so it was one of those things I sensed beyond Kayla, that I thought we had some people that were pressing. And so we tried to, bring levity to the situation. Literally the conversation with Kayla was in passing. I was leaving the court to go and I was watching her shoot, and it just looked like, like you wanted too bad. And that's why I told our players, think about, I won't tell you exactly the story, but just when you press and you squeeze something, doesn't usually go well. And so everybody kind of had to let that go. You can't change turnovers, I mean, yeah, they're going to write about you. And yeah, we got a reputation now. Okay. Well, we can work on our reputation. We know what we're trying to do on the inside. And, it was just, I think for Kayla and really all the players, and Kayla was the approach. It's not because the ball went in the basket. That certainly helped. But the way she played the game, she was far more engaged in what was happening when she was getting long closeouts, and involving herself and engaging with the entire offense, not just whether she was open off a screen or not. And that's what I liked. And that's what we have been talking about with her. So if it helped, great, but it was essentially just a walk-off quick conversation. Hey, you look tense to me. That ain't gonna get any better if you're shooting the ball tense. Loosen up your arms and let it fly. That's literally great. I'm glad it helped her. But I just know that, just got to work through stuff like that. And sometimes you can want something too bad. And it doesn't usually work well. When you're just playing and not thinking, everything's a lot better. And that's all the players, including Dallas's players.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks. See y'all. See you tomorrow, Ron.
Thanks.